We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas and a rapping New Year. So much plastic. Oi! There we go. That damn phone. Anyway, welcome back to DAP Build. Today I am pressing on with removing the plastic at first, but I will be starting to get everything ready to put the pans onto the chassis. That does include A, removing this plastic, but B will be, there we go, undoing this section here and more or less welding it onto the original piece on the body. Gosh, this just goes absolutely everywhere. Absolutely hate plastic like this. Come on. So, we'll be unwrapping this, drilling out the existing spot welds that hold that piece into place. Oh yes, here we go. Yes. Whee! So yeah, we have about, let's say a little over a dozen spot welds to drill out. Do all that, remove this section here. This entire pan then by itself will sit flush onto my existing that's buried underneath at the moment. The seat runners, for now, I'm going to leave. I've done a bit of searching. I can't find any adapters. I don't know what everyone else is doing for fitting aftermarket seats to Volkswagens, but I can't find any seat adapters, and I was hoping that might just be a cheap way out of it. Buy some seat adapters, put the seats in, job be done. But I can't find anything, so I don't really know what to do there. This little battery tab holder can go out too, and the existing bolt back here, which was also for the battery, for the strap and everything. Battery will most likely be, I haven't decided yet whether I put it in the front or the back, but that's another story. The floor will be bare. So I'll start drilling these out, and then we'll see where we go from there. So a bit of an unfortunate occurrence with the cutting out then. Those reinforcement plates I did not expect to see. My chassis didn't even have those on there. So this entire section here I'd noticed was peeling back. Of course, with those extra pieces, that definitely won't happen. So I will be adding those back in, which of course will then rectify the lovely holes and tears that removing them actually caused. But anyway, not to worry, that can be fixed. So that'll be done shortly after I start to reassemble the entire chassis. The metal along here on this side was really difficult to separate. It just would not come away. They also had a bit of a glue in between the metal, so they've obviously glued it, sandwiched it, then spot welded as well. Not a bad idea really, but a little bit more tricky in this situation. But what I'm going to do now is remove the floor pans. I don't really need to do much else more with them yet. So the next thing to do will be start to scrub off all the really easily accessible loose debris on the chassis itself, and then I'll go about my idea of covering all the holes, which I'm hopeful should work. Right, this really isn't working. It's too tacky. This section here and here is more or less glue, and the brushes and the wire wheel just really aren't cutting the mustard. I could spend an age on cleaning this thing by hand and still not have a really decent result. I'm not too concerned about what we don't see, but at the end of the day too, I do need it to be as clean as possible when I seal it to stop any sort of corrosion in the future. The tunnel is my main concern because realistically, I do want that exposed. I want this tunnel to be a painted, visible surface as such. So I don't really want to add to the constant inconsistencies. Along here especially, half these scratches, I say half, most to be honest, aren't even from me. They were already there. So there is a few gouges and cuts. I have no idea the sort of life this chassis endured before I picked it up. But yeah, not great obviously. So I may have to concede in doing something that I really didn't want to do, mainly because it involves spending quite a sum of money, and it's not a small amount. But it's really the only way I'm going to get a clean chassis. So I'll put that on the shelf for now. I can still do a lot of other things. So realistically, I'll still be cleaning it down. I'm just going to mask up, and I'll go through that now. I have either some cloth tape or just general duct tape, gaffer tape, whatever you want to call it, which I'll be cutting up into small sections, cleaning the according areas, and then just laying some section of tape over those holes. I'm just going to work around them. So when I actually spray the chassis itself of degreaser and whatever other chemicals I can think of, and pressure wash it down, no water ingress will get inside, or at least as little as possible, because I'm sure some will make it within. But that'll more or less be my next task. Just gonna clean off the select areas where there are holes. There are quite a few. At least I did actually find the inspection plate cover, so that's one great big hole sorted there. I'm just gonna screw that down. I may add a bit of silicone seal around there for now, just a bead of silicone, just so it acts as a bit better of a plate. So yeah, pretty much gonna go about that. And then think my options regards to cleaning it. I'm a little ways off. I can do that much later down the track. Just need to get the chassis as clean as possible for now. I think that pretty much wraps it up. But I have gone a bit overboard in some situations just because. It is primarily to remove the bulk of the dirt and debris. My lovely sealing job at the back, of course, massively overdone with sealant on that one. But anyway, it doesn't really make a difference at the end of the day. It is simply just pressure washing off the main bulk of the body. And then of course the proper cleaning job will come later, which I'm still really up in the air about, but I'll have to tackle that one when I get to it. I'm still a ways off from that. So yes, so what I'll be doing from now is cleaning this off. That won't be on camera. I'm just going to do that off screen because it's just, yeah, anyway. Next week I do plan on getting the floorboards back out, or pans back out anyway, putting those on and start to drill the holes, potentially start welding those up as well. There's also a couple of smaller things which I do remember as well I do want to cut off. It doesn't really make a massive deal in the grand scheme of things, but the existing wires which for the heater controls, I'll be removing those just because. Number one, they are chunks of metal. Sharp chunks of metal with that too. One's got a lovely spear point on it, so I just want to remove that so when I'm working in the engine bay near the transmission or anything like that, I'm not going to puncture myself to death. But that's pretty much it for now. So thank you to the tape, which has now adorned the chassis with yes, looks like it's got band-aids all over it, but anyway. So that's going to do it again today, guys. Thank you very much for joining me. As always, like, subscribe, comment below, etc. Tell your friends, tell your family, tell your neighbour that if he ever cuts himself and doesn't have a band-aid, bit of tape and bit of paper and job be done. Anyway, guys, until next time, cheers.